this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Simpson and Shane Simpson from the Legally Brunette podcast.
Each week, we're bringing you true crime through a legal lens.
Whether you want all the facts on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, or you still need to wrap your head around the Diddy verdict, we're breaking it all down step by step.
And we're not just lawyers, we're also husband and wife. It makes for some pretty entertaining episodes.
Listen to Legally Brunette on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Heather Dubrow.
And I'm Terry Dubrow.
And we're going to keep this between us.
Not really. The TMZ guy walks up to me and goes, Terry, what do you think about Bradley Cooper? They asked him and they said he's not had any plastic surgery.
But I mean, what's the latest rumor? I'm gay, right? Isn't that the latest rumor?
Yes.
First of all, if I were gay, I would be gay.
Listen to Between Us on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Between Us and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
When segregation was a law, one mysterious black club owner, Charlie Fitzgerald, had his own rules.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
It was like stepping on another world.
Was he a businessman, a criminal, a hero?
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
Charlie's Place, from Atlas Obscura and Visit Myrtle Beach. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On June 11th, 1998, a deputy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department went missing.
Hey, if they'll kill a cop and bury him, what are they going to do to me?
What really happened to the missing deputy? Valley of Shadows, a new series from Pushkin Industries about crime and corruption in California's high desert.
Listen to Valley of Shadows on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When you feel uncomfortable, what do you put on?
Biggie.
You put on Biggie when you feel uncomfortable?
Because I want to get confident.
This is DJ Hester Prin's Music is Therapy, a new podcast from me, a DJ and licensed therapist. 12 months, 12 areas of your life. Money, love, career, confidence. This isn't just a podcast. It's unconventional therapy for your entire year. Listen to DJ Hester Prin's Music is Therapy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Cool Zone Media.
Hey everybody, I'm Robert Evans. This is Behind the Bastards, a podcast by a man who is preparing for the entrance of the new regime, the need to go underground. So I'm in my chud block today. If you're a tall white man and you wear a hoodie with a deer head on it, you're effectively invisible. So I'm prepared for the new world. Are you?
You look great.
Thank you, Sophie. I love my chud sweater. It's actually incredibly comfortable.
I know.
Every year after deer season, this exact hoodie comes on for sale at a store near me. And so I can get like 3 for $5 each or some shit like that. And they're crazy comfortable.
And per usual, I spent the last hour trying to make myself look nice enough for the camera so people aren't mean to me on the internet.
Yep. Very different, very unequal situation. But I'm also not going to spend any more time caring about my appearance.
Fair enough. What are we doing today, Robert?
Well, Sophie, the same thing we do every night. Try to take over the world of podcasting. Oh, wait, we already did that.
Yep.
I guess let's answer some Q&As from our fans.
Yeah, so we put out a post on our Instagram at BastardsPod, and many of you sent in questions, and so we're going to try to answer a lot of them.
Yeah, the gist of the situation is, folks, it's the end of the year. This is when all of the companies that buy ads are really buying ads. And it's when everybody wants to get as many people listening as possible. And we decided rather than doing something that's zero effort and running more episodes, which we do when we take a break, we wanted to give you guys a chance to ask us some questions and also make sure that we're providing you with new stuff because you crave new stuff. You won't stop demanding it. Every instant of our lives, Sophie and I think of nothing but pleasing your insatiable appetites. So Sophie went on Instagram and asked if you guys had any questions.
Robert.
Yes?
What was your least favorite episode to do and why?
Least favorite to do. I assume they're asking ever. I really, unless it's a place where I have a specific interest, I really hate the foreign leader episodes. Like, I mean, obviously Stalin's a foreign leader, but I've been reading about Stalin my whole life. Hitler's a foreign. I've read more books about Hitler than anybody who's not a Hitler scholar. But like Jair Bolsonaro, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know much about Brazilian politics coming in. Netanyahu, I don't know much about, politics over there. So like getting up to speed, not just because you can't, it's not just enough to like learn, what was Netanyahu's childhood like? You also have to know like the dynamics of politics prior to him coming into power and like and catching up on all of that in a way that you don't totally embarrass yourself is a lot of work. And it's also nerve wracking because like, especially again, to go back to Netanyahu, this is a guy who had been involved in genocidal activity prior to where we are right now. Sure. But like, certainly like it was the kind of thing where like, because of how high the stakes are and how bad the things he was up to were, like, oh my God, the anxiety about fucking that up. The same with Bolsonaro, right? This guy who's fucking around the Amazon with indigenous peoples, this dude who is a very important part of this authoritarian trend, but also me, a guy who doesn't know much about Brazil. I'm always very anxious about those episodes. They're important to do. We'll be doing more of them next year. I always like stress out over, because there's no not getting some stuff wrong, right? Like, of
course, it's especially with history because it's so subjective.
Yeah,
for sure. I really fucking hate when we do the like wilderness camp school things, and
I love that
just
shit.
Like
I
horrific,
eat that shit up.
Horrific. Kids.
Sophie, I love suffering children.
Kids think they're in a safe place, and then they get, insert horrible thing here. Those episodes, I really, really fucking hate those.
Nom, nom, nom. I'll eat them up all day.
We did get this question quite a bit, and people want to know how you celebrated the passing of Henry Kissinger.
To be honest, that was a pretty normal day for me. Like, there's not a lot. I'm glad he's dead. But
sure.
Like, he lived an incredibly long life and got to do most of the things he wanted and never really suffered. So it's like, how much, like, let's say I had a beer, Let's say I had a beer.
Let's say I had a beer is so cryptic. What the fuck? You sound so unwell. Robert, is there an episode, topic, or individual that you've covered that has left you shaken up or angry long after you completed the episode?
Everything we do on healthcare.
Yeah.
Like every time we have done a healthcare, I know this is the week that it is. Every time we talk about the U.S. healthcare system, I'm fucking livid. The Hawks Nest Tunnel disaster, Union Carbide in Bhopal, India as well. Like, both of those are Union Carbide affiliated disasters. Those drive me fucking insane. Like, to some extent, I find those guys more offensive than a guy like Hitler, which is not saying that they're worse than Hitler, because Hitler did kill more people than like Union Carbide. But Hitler was like a guy who very honestly was about murdering people, whereas these guys are all pretending to be decent men, family men, all I'm doing is trying to make jobs and provide a, valuable part of the economy. And they are just killing people by fucking the city full. So yeah, those make me very angry.
I'm going to ask you one that won't make you very angry. Robert, what is your opinion on modern Star Trek? I love most of it. That's what they say.
Okay. Lower Decks is my favorite Star Trek thing since DS9.
Sure.
I've seen some episodes of Strange New Worlds, and I can see why people like it a lot. I'm kind of exhausted with that time period in the Star Trek timeline. Like, I want new stuff. I want fucking like, do one where Riker's like an old admiral and we're fucking dealing with Starfleet politics back on Earth in San Francisco. Give me anything where we're moving forward on the timeline, but we're not leaping into like weird future war shit. Like, I'm not mostly interested in that stuff. I'm mostly interested with actually part of why I love DS. I love TNG because it's really looking at like, would a utopia be in a sense that's actually imaginable as something real, that like something that could exist in some ways. And then Deep Space Nine is asking, what would the dark sides of that utopia be? In particular, not even the dark sides, because it's less that and more kind of like what the Culture series, dealt with. Like, what happens when this utopia and the people in it inevitably make contact or collide with reality, or not reality, because they live in reality, but with places that are not utopic, with places that are different, that are worse, that have different values. Like, what are those clashes like? And that's what I love in my Star Trek. Star Trek's never had good space battles. I'll say that, right? I mean, every now and then you get like a Wolf 359 or something. There's some pretty cool shit there, but like, fucking A, there's that one scene in Serenity is a better space battle in terms of like an interesting, cool looking space battle than ever got shot in Star Trek. But I don't watch Star Trek for space battles. I've got other shit for space battles.
That was very thorough.
Thank you.
I like this question. Who is your fantasy guest?
Fantasy guest? Marissa Tomei during My Cousin Vinny. If she, what are we talking about? What do we mean by fantasy here?
I think they. Wow, very specific. Look, I think they mean if you could have anybody come and guest on the podcast, who would your dream person?
I know what they meant. I would love to have, I don't even know if I'd do an episode. I would just love to talk with either Alan Moore or Werner Herzog. Like, specifically, if I had Herzog, the thing I'd most want to do with Herzog, I guess we could record it, but I don't really care if we do, is I'd like to cook a meal with Werner Herzog.
Sure.
But I think, in terms of funny people, I think Will Ferrell would probably be a really good guest. He's far too famous for us, but he seems like he's got a good sense of humor about these kinds of things.
Can you guess who mine is?
Who's yours?
Can you guess?
Yours is Harry Styles?
Nope.
Okay.
There's only one obvious answer.
Because it would be like really funny to bring Harry Styles on and then just do like Unit 731, just like nonstop 4 hours of the most nightmarish stories of torture.
And you just be like, treat people with kindness. What are you talking about? No, that's not who it is. There's only one person it could be.
Okay. Who?
I'm waiting to see if you know.
No, I don't. I gave you my guess.
The listeners are disappointed.
Okay, they're disappointed.
It's LeBron James.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, we could talk about basketball. Two experts like us. I mean, I think a lot of people would enjoy hearing our different feelings on ball handling, on 3-pointers, other basketball stuff. Those aren't the only two basketball-related terms I know, guys.
I think a lot of people would want to hear your opinion on ball handling, Robert. Anyways, it's time for an ad break.
Wow, Sophie.
Yeah.
The subreddit's going to be very uncomfortable today.
This is Ryder Strong with a podcast called The Red Weather.
In 1995, my neighbor, Anna Trainer, disappeared from a commune.
It was nature and trees and praying and drugs.
So no, I am not your guru.
And back then, I lied to everybody.
They have had this case for 30 years.
I'm going back to my hometown to uncover the truth.
You can now binge all episodes of The Red Weather on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On June 11th, 1998, a deputy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department went missing.
It's an all-out manhunt for John Auger. Every search and rescue team in LA County has been called in to help.
Within days, tips started flooding into the Sheriff's Department.
The rumor around the drug scene was that a deputy was taken care of.
Is this the story of a man who just got lost in the desert? Or of a cover-up inside the nation's largest sheriff's department?
A homicide captain saying, "Detective, do not find out if this guy's guilty or innocent." Who does that?
Valley of Shadows, a new series from Pushkin Industries about crime and corruption in California's high desert.
Do you have any advice for us while looking into this disappearance?
I wouldn't do it alone.
Listen to Valley of Shadows on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ever feel like you're being chased by the marriage police? Welcome to Boys and Girls, the podcast where dating isn't dating. Arranged marriage is basically a reality show, except the contestants are strangers and your entire family is judging. You're sipping coffee with one maybe, grabbing dinner with another, and praying your karmic Ken or Barbie appears before your shelf life runs out. Trust me, I've been through this ancient and unshakable tradition. I jumped in hoping to find love the right way, and instead I found chaos, cringe, and comedy. And now I'm looking for healing. Boys and Girls dives into every twist and turn of the arranged marriage carousel. The meet awkward, the near misses, the heartbreak, and let's not forget all the jokes. Listen to Boys and Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Almost 30 years together, 4 kids, and some of reality TV's most unforgettable moments, we know a thing or two about living life out loud. We're taking you behind the scenes in our new podcast, Between Us, with me, Heather Dubrow.
And me, Terry Dubrow. Between Us isn't about perfect lighting or curated Instagram grids.
It's the unfiltered, behind-closed-doors conversations you wish you could eavesdrop on. Equal parts smart, funny, and a little bit scandalous.
Every week, Heather will bring you an unapologetic take on the headlines, the trends, and the cultural moments everyone's texting about.
And Terry will deliver insider beauty, health, and wellness insights you won't find on TikTok.
Together, we'll tell the stories, spill the secrets, and share the hacks that keep life, marriage, and everything in between feeling fresh and fun.
We may live in a gated community, but there's zero gatekeeping here.
And plenty of did they just say that moments?
Listen to Between Us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, it's me, Anna Sinfield from The Girlfriends, the #1 hit true crime show that puts women right in the center of their own stories. I'm back with more one-off interviews with some truly kick-ass women on The Girlfriends Spotlight. I want to introduce you to Sylvia.
I'm going to climb this.
And then there's Fasaka.
Let's see how we can stop killing and save lives.
Layla dared to ask the question,
is badness hereditary?
And finally, we'll meet Rosamond.
If it wasn't for the air where Ella lived, she wouldn't have died on that fatal night.
You'll even get to meet my mum in that one, who I can always count on to keep my feet on the ground.
I'm not too intimidated by her.
What are you talking about? Listen to The Girlfriend Spotlight on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are back. Robert, this question was asked 552,000 times. When can we expect a sequel to After the Revolution?
Well, the book's done, basically. I finished the rough draft. I'm almost through with the first draft, which is when I read through the rough draft chapter by chapter and make the edits that occur to me to make it make sense. I think probably in January, I'll put out the first 3 chapters just as kind of a teaser, but I'll be, working with my editor to get it in the shape, but very soon. It's taken much longer than I had hoped it would. In my defense, both my parents died since publishing the first one, so, that's not really an excuse, but it's got to make you feel bad, and so you're not going to, follow up with complaining that the book's not out yet. I'm manipulating you, I'm a monster, I know it. But I'm good at it.
You're allowed.
Thank you.
You've referenced that there are people who start to look into, but ultimately find that there isn't really enough there for an episode. Who came the closest to being worthy of doing a whole episode about, but who was the most disappointing person that you weren't able to do an episode about?
I know that's happened.
It has.
There's been, and usually when that happens, it's not that there's not enough. It's that there's just not enough information about what they did. You'll hear a reference to some CEO who did this really fucked up thing. He was fucking eating poor people or whatever shit. But it's well, all I've got is 3 sentences from an old newspaper. I can't really get an article out on that. Honestly, names aren't coming to mind. The closest I can come in terms of what I remember is I almost didn't get to do the Beau Brummel episodes after hours of research because I did kind of come to the conclusion, there's some bad side effects as a result of what he did, but that's nothing, not that morally reflects on him in a negative way. He wasn't trying to make generations of men more limited in their fashion choices. He just liked what he liked. And likewise, I guess
there's been a handful of people where you've been where people are it's not necessarily that you've looked into them. People are why don't you do an episode on so and so? And you're because they're fucking boring.
Like Ben Shapiro. What am I gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
What is there really to say about Ben? I have looked into him. I did think about it, and at this point, he does have a negative impact. He's just boring, and that's a big. I will say when it comes to if your question is ever why haven't you done so and so. the answer is usually either I think they're boring, and if it's someone that you're like, well, there's no way he thinks this guy's boring, this guy's objectively interesting, it's because that's going to be a shitload of work. And like, I'm always triaging the Lawrence of Arabia episodes, which seem to have gotten a good reaction. I think I had to read like 5 books for.
You worked on that for like a year.
I was working in the background, slowly getting through material for starting in like January.
Yeah.
And not everything is like, but like Kissinger was like that. Kissinger was like a year of background work, and the current big one that I'm very slowly working on is doing another Nixon, probably 6-parter, because it's fucking Nixon, but at least a 4-parter. And that's going to take me a while, because I really don't, there's so many because you could put that much effort into everybody. But it's a lot of folks, you would just be reading stuff that's largely repeating similar bits with slightly different takes. Whereas with Nixon, everyone who digs into him, there's so many stories. There's so many people who know crazy shit about Nixon. You really almost can't come to an end of collecting fucked up Dick Nixon stories. Like it's almost like our most renewable resource on planet Earth is stories of Richard Nixon being a freaking weirdo. So it takes some time.
Which episode received the most backlash from fans?
Backlash. There was some frustration over an episode we did that was, I think it was mixed. It's always really mixed, even when there is like about that doctor who was like doing really bad surgeries for trans people. There were some folks who had some specific frustrations with that, and then some folks who didn't. And, ultimately it's one of those things where when you're dealing with stuff like that, there are probably multiple right ways to do it, but it's tough. I think like the biggest thing that frustrates me in terms of like feedback from listeners is when people will be like, obviously this person has autism. Why didn't you bring that up? Or that's an explanation for this behavior. Why didn't you bring that up? And the answer in every case is, that person has not been diagnosed with anything. All I have is the behavior. Multiple other things could explain the behavior. I am not going to just declare Jeffrey Bezos to have autism based on my 0 experience as a diagnostician because he didn't like music, right? Like, There are other reasons people might not like music. And it's just kind of an interesting detail about how he's sort of disconnected from a lot of the people around him. That can be explained by many different things, but it's not my job to be like, this is what I believe is going on with Jeffrey Bezos, and now we all have to act like it's true, because it's probably not.
Hey, Robert.
Uh-huh.
Where can I read up on Robert's war zone journalism, or whatever older pieces may be out there?
Man, most of it was on cracked.com. Some of it found its way into It Could Happen Here, at least my conclusions based on it. There was a video that you could view in VR that was like a 360 video documentary of some of my time in Mosul that was published through the EW Scripps Network. I think that one was called 24 Hours in Mosul or something like that. They was broadcast also on a bunch of TV networks. I don't actually know if the link is up. A decent number of things that I wrote back then for like local news have become lost media, because that's how that shit be.
Yep.
But you should still be able to find some of the stuff on Cracked that I did. So yeah, I would say check that out there.
Let's do a fun one before the next ad break. Robert, if you were a Spice Girl, what would be your Spice Girl name?
If I were a Spice Girl, my Spice Girl name would be, doesn't want to say anything mean about the Spice Girls, because I am close to several women who grew up in love with the Spice Girls.
Yes, but what would your Spice Girl?
That was my name, yes. I gave my name.
Your Spice Girl name is Afraid of Women Spice?
Specifically afraid of the women that I like, Spice, yes.
Afraid of women I like, Spice. Got it.
Yeah. Afraid of offending them based on having a bad take about the Spice Girls. Spice.
I think I would be producer Spice.
Yeah, that's probably fair too.
It's time for ads again. We'll be back.
This is Ryder Strong with a podcast called The Red Weather.
In 1995, my neighbor, Anna Trainer, disappeared from a commune.
It was nature and trees and praying and drugs.
So no, I am not your guru.
And back then, I lied to everybody.
They have had this case for 30 years.
I'm going back to my hometown to uncover the truth.
You can now binge all episodes of The Red Weather on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On June 11th, 1998, a deputy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department went missing.
It's an all-out manhunt for John Auger. Every search and rescue team in LA County has been called in to help.
Within days, tips started flooding into the sheriff's department.
The rumor around the drug scene was that a deputy was taken care of.
Is this the story of a man who just got lost in the desert? Or of a cover-up inside the nation's largest sheriff's department?
A homicide captain saying, "Detective, do not find out if this guy's guilty or innocent." Who does that?
Valley of Shadows, a new series from Pushkin Industries about crime and corruption in California's high desert.
Do you have any advice for us while looking into this disappearance?
I wouldn't do it alone.
Listen to Valley of Shadows on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Ever feel like you're being chased by the marriage police? Welcome to Boys and Girls, the podcast where dating isn't dating. Arranged marriage is basically a reality show, except the contestants are strangers and your entire family is judging. You're sipping coffee with one maybe, grabbing dinner with another, and praying your karmic Ken or Barbie appears before your shelf life runs out. Trust me, I've been through this ancient and unshakable tradition. I jumped in hoping to find love the right way, and instead I found chaos, cringe, and comedy. And now I'm looking for healing. Boys and Girls dives into every twist and turn of the arranged marriage carousel. The meet awkward, the near misses, the heartbreak, and let's not forget all the jokes. Listen to Boys and Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Almost 30 years together, 4 kids, and some of reality TV's most unforgettable moments, we know a thing or two about living life out loud. We're taking you behind the scenes in our new podcast, Between Us, with me, Heather Dubrow.
And me, Terry Dubrow. Between Us isn't about perfect lighting or curated Instagram grids.
It's the unfiltered, behind-closed-doors conversations you wish you could eavesdrop on. Equal parts smart, funny, and a little bit scandalous.
Every week, Heather will bring you an unapologetic take on the headlines, the trends, and the cultural moments everyone's texting about.
And Terry will deliver insider beauty, health, and wellness insights you won't find on TikTok.
Together, we'll tell the stories, spill the secrets, and share the hacks that keep life, marriage, and everything in between feeling fresh and fun.
We may live in a gated community, but there's zero gatekeeping here.
And plenty of "did they just say that" moments.
Listen to Between Us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, it's me, Anna Sinfield from The Girlfriends, the #1 hit true crime show that puts women right in the center of their own stories. I'm back with more one-off interviews with some truly kick-ass women on The Girlfriends Spotlight. I want to introduce you to Sylvia.
I'm going to climb this.
And then there's Visaka.
Let's see how we can stop killing and save lives.
Layla dared to ask the question,
is badness hereditary?
And finally, we'll meet Rosamond.
If it wasn't for the air where Ella lived, she wouldn't have died on that fatal night.
You'll even get to meet my mum in that one, who I can always count on to keep my feet on the ground.
I'm not too intimidated by her.
What are you talking about? Listen to The Girlfriend Spotlight on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Robert, we're back. Can you believe it?
No.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. When did you decide BTB was going to be your next thing? Was it something you'd been building towards in your life? Was it becoming a pod, a major goal, or did it just sort of happen?
I'm going to explain this to you in a way that also explains some questions that we can't answer directly about why do you guys work for X or, are involved with, such and such company.
So here's my explanation. We can kind of answer that.
That's what I'm going to do.
Sure.
Yeah. So I when I was late into my time at Cracked, I was getting bored of doing the kind of articles I'd been doing for years there, these personal experience pieces where I'd interview someone and then turn their life experiences or the reporting that I'd done into like a listicle. And podcasts were starting to blow up. I was interested in the medium. I'd done one through Cracked and found aspects of it pleasant. And the thing I had pitched was something based on my special interest, which is the Nazis. You know, I had done an article that had done very well on things you don't know about the Nazis, that had delved into things we've touched on in some episodes of the podcast. You know, all of these very weird things. I talked about Karl May, you know, and Hitler's obsession with these cowboy novels and how that impacted the Third Reich. And so that sort of stuff. And I was like, I want to do a series where every season I talk about a different dictatorial regime and all of the crazy, weird facts about it. So season 1 would be 10 episodes on like these weird fat things you don't know about the Nazis. Maybe we'd move on to Saddam Hussein or Stalin. And then we all got shit canned. And I remember, you have good friends among your coworkers when, like, as we're all getting drunk, one of the people who hadn't gotten laid off was Alex Schmidt, good old Schmitty. And Schmitty and I are talking, and I'm like, oh, so I had this great, and Schmitty's running podcasts at Cracked and is still employed. And I'm like, I have this great idea for a show. And Schmitty, being a very good friend, is like, don't tell it to me. So I didn't. And, I spent the next couple of weeks getting fucked up like you do when you get laid off. And then had a call with Jack O'Brien, and Sophie was on that call because Jack had left a few months earlier to work at Stuff Media, which is the company that was producing shows like, stuff you don't know,
stuff you should
stuff
know,
you should know, stuff they don't want you to know, all that stuff
they missed in history class. It's the How Stuff Works team that was originally out of Atlanta.
Yeah, and our boss is actually the guy who started Mental Floss. So like these are all folks.
One of the guys, yeah.
Yeah, one of the guys. These are all folks who came out of the same era of digital media as me, who were all had pivoted to podcasting a little earlier. So I had my meeting with my old boss, Jack, and I tell him my idea for this dictator show that I want to do.
Let's pause for 5 seconds.
Uh-huh.
When Robert says, I've mentioned this previously before, but when Robert says he tells his idea for a dictator show, first of all, this is my first interaction with Robert, is he's like running through a wind tunnel.
I was jogging in San Francisco underneath a bridge, as I'm often doing, near Dogpatch, if you're curious.
And I could hear, half the words, and it was like, bad guys, history, worst. And I was like,
yep.
I would like to produce that. Thank you so much. And
Unhinged.
Good old Jack O'Brien was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because Jack actually had stolen me. Jack actually stole me. I can't even say that.
Nobody can. It's a terrible word.
So I worked at a company that bought How Stuff Works. And I was working at that company doing like project management stuff, which is kind of like why it makes sense why I'm so able to control the amount of shows we have, because a lot of my background was in that. And when Jack came on to run the LA version and it was originally just comedy of the How Stuff Works team, he stole me from that other company. Thank you, Jack.
Yeah.
And soon after that, I got to meet Robert and changed my life.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the well, and during that meeting, again, my idea had been seasons about like each season about a different dictatorship. And Jack was like, what if every episode you just switch and give a different, a couple of episodes about a different monster, and you can go back and forth and revisit different aspects of topics, which is a much better idea. The show would not have worked in a seasonal format the way that it does as a weekly. Even though making this into a weekly show has destroyed my life, but in a good way.
Well, it's not even just that, because it started as weekly, and then you're like, man, would it make sense if we like split things into parts?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's a twice weekly show, at least. But yeah, our origin.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cute. But yeah, anyways, we worked at this company called How Stuff Works. Or Stuff Media, whatever they went publicly by How Stuff Works, and then the company was called Stuff Media. And then all of a sudden one day they were like, oh, hey, by the way, we just got bought by iHeartRadio. You work for them now. And we were like,
yep.
Cool.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Nothing to do here. And that's how life is when you're in media.
When you're in media. And I really like our team. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Robert, can you give us a cat update?
Cat update. I mean, they're cats, so very little changes in their day-to-day life if things are doing well.
There's many questions about your cats than just, anything interesting?
I mean, Saddam Hussein had a problem 2 years ago.
Are you telling this story?
Yeah, he tried to have... There's a blanket he likes to have sex with that's usually on my couch. I mean, he's been neutered, but he still tries to have sex with it. And that blanket got a seed that's like a sharp seed. It's one of those seeds that's like sticks to your pants in it. And he managed to get it wedged inside his urethra, and it nearly killed him. But he's fine now. And there haven't been reoccurrences of any urinary issues, which are very serious in male cats. If your male cat isn't peeing, get it to the vet immediately. Hours matter.
The most amazing thing about that story is I once made Robert, during this time, shortly after we knew Saddam Hussein was going to be okay, join a call with let's just call him an entertainment person that was not being a chill guy. And do you remember this story? On a project we ultimately decided not to work on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. On a project we ultimately decided not to work on.
Yes.
But it was going to be a very unpleasant phone call. And Robert gets on, and Robert has maybe spoken to this man for 10 seconds once. And he's like, hey, how's it going, Robert? And Robert's like, my cat got a seed stuck up his urethra. And I really treasured that moment.
Yeah, so do I.
That was beautiful for me. Mm-hmm. Let's do one more.
Okay. I love questions. I love answers. I love answering questions. I love questioning answers. All of those things. A good time.
Robert.
Sophie.
I don't know why I say your name. Like, who else would I be asking? I mean, besides Anderson. No.
Yeah.
What activities this is for both of us. What activities do y'all do to ease your mental health after researching and hearing about awful things?
That's an option?
This is mine. This is my answer right here. This beautiful dog I'm holding. And for the audio only people, I'm holding up Anderson, and she looks quite beautiful. Yes, you do.
Unfortunately, tragically, I've been sober for a while and will be staying sober. So I just get depressed and then get better and better at shooting a gun. That's how I spend my free time.
Jesus Christ. Do you want that on the internet?
Why not?
I don't know. You could have said, I go for runs most days.
Look, I go for runs most days. I lift weights. I push a heavy sled while wearing my body armor and dry firing a handgun. Yes, I do all these things.
You have farm animals that are wonderfully magical.
I do have farm animals.
You also
I go
have
hunting,
friends.
in which I train at hitting moving targets in the woods.
You have wonderful friends.
Yeah, sometimes I train shooting stuff in the woods with them.
Your business partner is a very supportive person.
Sure, yeah, lots of that. I miss drugs, Sophie. I hate being sober. But it's okay. I've been doing it for years. I'll keep it up.
You're doing
It's
great.
just miserable.
You're doing great, buddy. Well, give the people a Boston Rob, and then we'll be on our way. And we'll
Oi, I'm not your Boston monkey. Is that good enough for you people? Does that make you happy? Is that what you want? No one's ever happy when they get what they want.
We'll be back on Thursday with another round of questions.
Questions!
Robert.
That's how they say it in Boston.
At this point, Robert, what percentage of them do you love? That number went down from 40. That's for fucking sure.
No. That's probably still about right. That's close. Close enough for government work.
For me, 32%.
32%. Wow, you guys really got to pump your Sophie numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel fine about our fans. Look, there's a lot of them, and so some chunk of them are always going to be doing something weird and off-putting, but usually when I encounter our fans, it's in the context of them, like, doing something nice that's helpful to people out in the world. Like, run into a lot of fans handing out food, run into a lot of fans being street medics, run into a lot of fans protesting genocide. So I'm generally very positive towards our fans, especially the ones who are forklift certified. You are really the ones that we do this for. You know, whenever I close my eyes before sitting down to write an episode that I know is going to really take it out of me, I think of you guys driving your forklifts, and that gives me the fuel I need to go on.
Bye. Behind the Bastards is a production of Cool Zone Media. For more from Cool Zone Media, visit our website, coolzonemedia.com, or check us out on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bastards is now available on YouTube. New episodes every Wednesday and Friday. Subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/@BehindTheBastards.
Hey everyone, it's Emily Simpson and Shane Simpson from the Legally Brunette podcast.
Each week, we're bringing you true crime through a legal lens.
Whether you want all the facts on the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, or you still need to wrap your head around the Diddy verdict, we're breaking it all down step by step.
And we're not just lawyers, we're also husband and wife. It makes for some pretty entertaining episodes.
Listen to Legally Brunette on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
I'm Heather Dubrow.
And I'm Terry Dubrow.
And we're going to keep this between us.
Not really. The TMZ guy walks up to me and goes, Terry, what do you think about Bradley Cooper? They asked him and they said he's not had any plastic surgery.
But I mean, what's the latest rumor? I'm gay, right? Isn't that the latest rumor?
Yes.
First of all, if I were gay, I would be gay.
Listen to Between Us on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Between Us and start listening on the free iHeartRadio app today.
When segregation was a law, one mysterious black club owner, Charlie Fitzgerald, had his own rules.
Segregation in the day, integration at night.
It was like stepping on another world.
Was he a businessman, a criminal, a hero?
Charlie was an example of power. They had to crush him.
Charlie's Place, from Atlas Obscura and Visit Myrtle Beach. Listen to Charlie's Place on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
On June 11th, 1998, a deputy from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department went missing.
Hey, if they'll kill a cop and bury him, what are they going to do to me?
What really happened to the missing deputy? Valley of Shadows, a new series from Pushkin Industries about crime and corruption in California's high desert.
Listen to Valley of Shadows on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
When you feel uncomfortable, what do you put on?
Biggie.
You put on Biggie when you feel uncomfortable?
Because I want to get confident.
This is DJ Hester Prynne's Music is Therapy, a new podcast from me, a DJ and licensed therapist. 12 months, 12 areas of your life. Money, love, career, confidence. This isn't just a podcast. It's unconventional therapy for your entire year. Listen to DJ Hester Prynne's Music is Therapy on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed Human.